The change on the managerial bench at Manchester United is creating positive effects, not only in terms of match results, but also in reviving individuals who seemed to have passed their prime. And Harry Maguire is the clearest evidence of that. From a center-back frequently questioned regarding his form, even facing the risk of losing his spot in the squad, as well as the chance to attend the 2026 World Cup, Maguire is step-by-step rediscovering himself under the hands of interim manager Michael Carrick. Before Carrick took over the coaching position at Old Trafford, Maguire almost no longer had a place in the tactical system of his predecessor, Ruben Amorim. Amorim's persistence in using a three-center-back formation inadvertently pushed Maguire into a role that did not suit his strengths. In that system, Maguire often had to play as a libero, a sweeping center-back with the task of reading situations, providing cover, and holding position more than engaging in direct challenges. This significantly limited his aerial ability, physical imposition, and tackling, elements that had been the English defender's trademark throughout his career. Consequently, when Carrick made the decision to change the system to a four-back formation, it was not merely a tactical adjustment, but also opened an opportunity for a rebirth for Maguire. In the new structure, he returned to the role of left-sided or central center-back in a defensive pairing, where requirements for tackling, pressing, and proactively pushing high were prioritized. This proved to be the ideal environment for Maguire to maximize his capabilities. Maguire himself did not hide his comfort when playing in this familiar system. He admitted that the peak years of his career, from the club level to the national team, were all associated with a four-back formation. Despite having notable performances in an England shirt under Gareth Southgate, with a five-man defense, Maguire still maintained that it was not the ideal environment for him to express his full potential. For him, football is not just about completing tactical duties, but also about the feeling of confidence and proactivity in every play, something that Carrick's system is providing. This change quickly brought about clear efficiency for Manchester United. Impressive victories over major rivals like Arsenal and Manchester City not only helped the team improve its position in the rankings, but also created a powerful psychological boost for the whole squad. From a disappointing 15th place last season, the Red Devils have risen to stand third, a remarkable step forward, showing the effectiveness of rational tactical adjustments. In that journey of revival, Maguire emerged as a symbol of persistence and adaptation. He not only improved his individual form, but also became a reliable anchor in the defense, contributing significantly to the general stability of the team. Maguire's aerial prowess, situational reading, and defensive leadership were gradually reaffirmed, helping him regain trust from the fans as well as the coaching staff. One cannot fail to mention Carrick's role in creating a favorable environment for players to develop. Not only an experienced former star player, Carrick also displayed flexible tactical thinking and the ability to communicate effectively with players. He clearly understands the strengths and weaknesses of each individual and knows how to adjust the system to optimize the performance of the whole team. Support from experienced associates like Steve Holland or former teammate Johnny Evans also played an important part in helping the transition process take place smoothly. For Maguire, the positive changes at Manchester United do not just stop at the club level, but also open a great opportunity with the national team. Being called back in this month's England squad is a clear signal that he still remains in the coaching staff's plans. After featuring in the last two World Cups in 2018 and 2022, Maguire stands before a major chance to continue his journey at the 2026 World Cup. However, the road ahead is certainly not easy. Competition for the center-back position in the England squad is always fierce, with many young and high-potential names. To hold his position, Maguire needs to maintain stable form and continue to prove his value in a club shirt. Nevertheless, with what he is displaying under Carrick, he has total grounds to believe in a positive future. Maguire's story also reflects a familiar truth in football. Sometimes, a player's career depends not only on individual capacity, but is also heavily governed by the tactical system and the manager's usage. A small tactical change can create a major turning point, transforming a player from surplus into an irreplaceable pillar. In the journey to find identity at Manchester United, as fluctuations on the managerial bench and in the locker room continuously occurred, Harry Maguire once again emerged as a solid anchor in terms of both professional skill and spirit. At the age of 33, when many players begin to move toward the other side of the slope of their careers, the English centre-back not only maintains stable form, but also becomes a typical role model of professionalism and dedication, especially for the young generation maturing at Old Trafford. Under the guidance of interim manager Michael Carrick, Manchester United is rebuilding step by step, and in that process, Maguire is not just a tactical cog, but also a symbol of spirit. This is most clearly shown through the way he approached the issue of contract renewal. While moving very close to a new agreement with a one-year term plus an option for a 12-month extension, Maguire did not choose safety or values of a sentimental nature. Instead, he delivered a message full of metal. Staying is not because of nostalgia, but because of the practical value he can contribute. I love this club, but everything has to be right for myself and for the team. I don't want to stay for sentimental value. I want to stay because I want to contribute, and the club wants me to push the team forward. Maguire's statement was not just an affirmation of his personal future, but a professional manifesto. In a football environment increasingly governed by reputation and commercial value, Maguire's approach brings a clear lesson. A player's value must be measured by capacity and practical contribution on the pitch. That is also precisely the message that young talents like Kobbie Mainoo or players from the Manchester United Academy need to look toward to learn. The stature of a player lies not just in titles or the limelight, but in the hunger to be recognized by one's own performance. And Maguire, by facing his career honestly, is conveying that message more powerfully than any theoretical lecture. Maguire's career at Old Trafford was inherently never smooth. He once went through periods of heavy criticism, losing his position and facing the risk of becoming surplus. However, what is worth mentioning is the way he reacted to adversity. When Ruben Amorim left after a difficult period, Maguire did not choose to blame or dodge responsibility. Conversely, he showed respect for the predecessor and frankly admitted that part of the responsibility belonged to the players. I really liked Ruben. Those ideas just didn't work at Manchester United. And we, the players, have to take a lot of responsibility for that. That sharing clearly reflects mettle and honesty. Two qualities not every player is ready to show. Under Carrick, the tactical change from a three center-back system to a four-man defense continues to pose a new challenge for Maguire. Even though admitting that a three center-back formation helped him be more protected against prejudices regarding speed and age, he still proactively chose the challenge. Maguire wants to play in a four-back system, where he must participate more in direct challenges, must push high, and control a wider space. That was not just a tactical decision, but also a declaration of self-confidence and the hunger to prove himself. That spirit quickly spread through the locker room. Young players like Mainoo, who once stood before the possibility of leaving on loan, are now rediscovering their positions and even returning to the national team. The presence of Maguire, along with experienced figures like Johnny Evans or Jonathan Woodgate in the coaching staff, has created an ideal environment for young players to develop, not just in skills, but also in professional mindset. More importantly than anything, Maguire does not just talk, he acts. His stable form is one of the factors helping Manchester United rise to third place in the rankings, while also helping him regain trust from the national team under the guidance of Thomas Tuchel. This is the clearest evidence that professional value still always remains the ultimate yardstick in top-tier football. At the national team level, Maguire continues to show maturity in thinking. He is ready to accept any role at the upcoming World Cup, whether starting or on the bench, as long as he can contribute to the common success. That is the transformation from a player who once placed heavy weight on his personal ego into someone who puts collective interest first, the sign of a true leader. What Maguire is displaying is not merely good form or a career revival, but a living legacy of how to practice the profession. Humility when facing success, courage when facing criticism, and a spirit of responsibility in every circumstance are exactly the values that any young player at Manchester United needs to learn. In the context where the team is predicted to have many personnel fluctuations, Maguire's commitment based on practical capacity is the important anchor for the Red Devils to continue moving forward, not just with the goal of titles, but with a clearer and more sustainable identity. In the context of Manchester United gradually finding its position again, Maguire's revival carries meaning not only professionally, but also spiritually. It shows that, with rational adjustment and trust at the right time, any player can return stronger after difficult periods. And in this story, Michael Carrick is not just the one who changed the tactics, but also the one who rekindled the trust and mettle within a center-back who was once the most doubted at Old Trafford.